Hey everyone, welcome to TamiFlix English Voiceover. Today we are diving into the charming and emotional movie Yaaradi Nee Mohini. Yaaradi Nee Mohini is a delightful film that follows the journey of Vasu, a young man struggling to find his place in the world. Join us to explore this touching story of perseverance and romance. At the start of the movie hero Vasu and his friend are seeking a job. Vasu attended many interviews but he was rejected for different reasons. Later, his friend Ganesh got a job as a constable but Vasu still searching for a job. The title called Yaaradi Nee Mohini appears on the screen. Vasu had another friend named Chinu who was also working. When Vasu felt low, they spent time together by going out somewhere or playing. Vasu was rejected from another interview and got drunk with his friends. Later, they took Vasu home. At home, Vasu and his father live alone. Vasu's father works as a teacher at a school. The next morning, Vasu asked his father for 100 rupees to buy a job application. Initially, his father refused and scolded Vasu. Vasu asked his father what he had achieved in his life. His father got angry and replied that taking care of him for the last 25 years was the biggest achievement. His father threw the money and left. Vasu got a job application from a company, but it was also wasted. Suddenly, the rain started. Vasu saw a girl named Keerthi, who is the heroine of this movie. Vasu fell in love with Keerthi at first sight. He followed her whenever she went. Keerthi entered a software company and the security stopped him, saying that only employees were allowed. The next day, Vasu saw a job vacancy in the same company where Keerthi worked. So he started to prepare for the interview. The next day, Vasu went to the interview. The first round was a written test. Vasu was thinking about something without writing any answers. Keerthi came and asked what happened. Vasu replied that he had studied all these questions but couldn't remember them now. Keerthi advised him to think patiently and write the answer. Vasu tried that idea and it worked. He passed the first round. The next round was a group discussion. Everyone explained their points in English, but Vasu was not good at English. So everyone teased him, but Keerthi told Vasu to speak in Tamil. He spoke about a few details and passed that round as well. Vasu asked his father to come to the office before going to the final round. Finally, Vasu got the job as a trainee. While going home, Vasu told his father to retire from his job. Vasu's father got angry and said that he would work until he died. He wouldn't depend on anyone. The next day, Vasu and his father went to work. On the first day, Vasu went to a temple before going to the office. The manager assigned Keerthi as a trainer for Vasu. Keerthi gave him a few documents to study the basics and assigned some tasks to him. But Vasu made mistakes and was scolded by Keerthi. That evening, Keerthi gave Vasu some books to study. Vasu advised her to smile sometimes. Keerthi got angry and said that she was his superior. Vasu said that this only applied in the office. That night, Keerthi remembered the words Vasu said and tried to smile in front of the mirror. The next day, Vasu got stressed and accidentally crashed the whole system in the office. The manager came and asked what happened. The manager scolded the trainer for her irresponsibility, but Vasu said that this was his mistake. The manager didn't accept his words. Keerthi cried a lot and left the office. That night, Vasu stayed in the office and tried to sort out this issue. The next morning, the employees shared their tasks and finished the project work on time. Then Vasu came and said that it was very simple and asked Keerthi why she had cried over it. Vasu asked Keerthi to smile a bit, but she didn't. In the next few days, Vasu dreamed about his life with Keerthi. Vasu bought a shirt for his father with his first month's salary, and his father proudly wore it. In the next scene, Vasu explained his love to his friends and wanted one of them to convey this love matter to Keerthi. Chino left from that place due to some work, so Ganesh tried to speak with Keerthi through mobile and told her that Vasu loved her. Keerthi replied that if Vasu had the guts, he should express his love to her himself. The next morning, Keerthi asked about his friend Ganesh, but Vasu said he didn't have any friend by that name. Then Keerthi said that they need to go for a project work in Australia. In the next scene, Vasu get ready to go to Australia. They board the flight and go to Australia. After the project work ends, Vasu's colleague requests Keerthi to give permission to go to a club. She agrees and they go to the club. The next day, Vasu tries to express his love to Keerthi, but Keerthi doesn't accept his love because she is getting married next month and her parents do not accept love marriages. Vasu doesn't believe this and compels her, but Keerthi refuses him and they return to India. That night, Vasu's father asks him to have a dinner, but Vasu cries and says that he loved a girl and she rejected him. Vasu said that he loved her very deeply and now he has lost everything. The next day, Vasu's father goes to the office and asks Keerthi about the love. Keerthi gets angry and scolds Vasu's father. Vasu comes and asks Keerthi to apologize to his father, but she calls security and accidentally beat Vasu's father. That night, Vasu and his father drink together and discuss the incident. Vasu asks his father, "Is he okay?" and his father replies that he is okay. The next morning, Vasu calls his friend and says that his father passed away while sleeping. The funeral is held and Vasu is left alone. Vasu cries daily, feeling that he killed his father and that his father would be alive if Vasu had not followed that girl. He is deeply worried. In the next scene, Chinu says he needs to go to his native village for his marriage. So Chinu decided to take Vasu with him. Chinu and Vasu start their journey by train. Chinu is waiting for his lover Geetu. At the last minute, Geetu arrives and tries to catch the train. It turns out the Geetu is actually Keerthi. Later, Vasu learns that Keerthi is going to marry his friend Chinu soon. Vasu decides to leave, but Chinu doesn't allow him. Keerthi asks Chinu why he brought Vasu with him. Chinu explained that Vasu's father recently died of a heart attack. Keerthi realizes that this happened because of her and she feels very worried. In the next scene, they arrived at Chinu's home where Chinu's family welcomes them. Chinu introduces Vasu to his family and his grandfather. Chinu's grandfather is the head of the family. Vasu enters the home and Keerthi's sister Pooja has affection for Vasu at first sight. Vasu sits in Chinu's grandmother's place. Chinu's grandmother believing in world tradition, so she scolds and beats Vasu. Vasu decides to leave, but Chinu convinces him to stay. Initially, Vasu faces difficulty staying there because he has lived in the city all his life. In the next scene, Keerthi goes to see Vasu and apologizes to him, as she feels she is the reason for Vasu losing his father. She cries and Vasu convinces Keerthi that his father died of a heart attack. Vasu asks Keerthi, "Is there any problem to stay there?" And Keerthi says it is not a problem for her. In the next scene, Vasu visits the fields. Chinu's grandfather orders him to work in the fields. While working, Vasu accidentally sees a snake and gets scared. Everyone teases him and laughs. In the next scene, some people come and misbehave with Chinu's family. Vasu fights with them and saying he is only scared of snakes, not of these people. In the next scene, Pooja comes to Vasu's room and proposes to him. She then goes to her room and informs Keerthi that she loves Vasu. Pooja asks Keerthi to help her marry Vasu. Keerthi goes to speak with Vasu and tells him that Pooja is innocent. Vasu replies that this is just infatuation and Pooja will realize it soon. Keerthi thanks him for understanding Pooja's innocence. In the next scene, Chinu's grandmother has a serious health condition. The doctor says there is no hope for her survival. Vasu comes and tries to speak with Chinu's grandmother. He says that when she was alive, nobody cared about her, but now everyone's trying to fulfill her desires. He realizes this after losing his father. Vasu says she was like his father and her behavior reminded him of his father. Suddenly, she improves in health. Chinu's grandfather thanks Vasu and Chinu's family accepts him as a member of their family. In the next scene, Keerthi's family asks Vasu to come and choose sarees for the wedding. They go to the shop. At the shop, Keerthi's family asks Vasu to select a good saree for Keerthi. Vasu says that the red saree is the best match for Keerthi, but Keerthi is already wearing that saree and asks how it looks. Everyone said that this is a perfect match. After completing the purchase, they go home. In the next scene, Vasu plays with the children. Keerthi watches him from the window. Suddenly, Pooja arrives with her father, and Pooja's father asks Vasu to take Pooja to the nearby town to check her mail. Keerthi doesn't want Pooja to travel with Vasu, so she decided to go with them. While traveling, Keerthi asks Vasu to tell Pooja the truth that he cannot marry her. Vasu tries to convince Pooja, but she threatens to commit suicide. Vasu saves her and tells her that she will find a better person in the future. Pooja believes his words and they leave. That night, Keerthi wants to meet Vasu. She covers her face and goes to meet him. But Chinu becomes suspicious and follows her. Keerthi tells Vasu that she loves him and hugs him. Chinu sees this and cries. But Vasu tells her that she is going to marry his friend tomorrow and advises her to go back home. Keerthi then asks Vasu, is he taking revenge for rejecting his initial proposals? Vasu says that this is not a business to take decisions later, and this is life. It can change in a fraction of a second. They decided to return to home. On the way, they saw Chinu, who says that if they had told him earlier, he wouldn't have started to love Keerthi. Chinu asks Vasu to stop the marriage by revealing the truth. The next morning, Vasu doesn't want to tell Keerthi's family about his love because he cares for them more than for her. He doesn't want to disappoint them. However, Chinu stops the marriage and says that he is already married. Chinu's grandfather and family scold and beat him. Vasu decides to tell the truth. He says that he loved Keerthi when he was working at her office, but now she loves him. He adds that this issue should not be made into a big problem for their family, so he decided to leave. Vasu asks Keerthi's grandmother to come with him. Keerthi's grandmother agrees and they leave. After 6 months, Keerthi's family decided to stay with Vasu. Vasu starts his life with Keerthi as he had dreamed earlier. The movie concludes here. Hope everyone is enjoyed this voiceover. If you want me to give the voiceover for any movie, just put the movie name here in the comment. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching this movie, Yaaradi Nee Mohini. Remember to like, share and subscribe to TamilFlix English Voiceover for more cool stuff. See you all.